What's going on, Cold World? Young K.LaNe Hotel coming at you live and direct. I hope all is well with you and yours, man. I got an important question to ask you today, man. And I hope I just let it marinate and just let it sit in your spirit for a minute. Who are you? Like, for real. I ain't talking about your first and last name. You know what I'm saying? The movie Transformers gave us so much game on that. You dig what I'm saying? You know, your first and last name is like calling yourself, you know what I'm saying, the Chevy Camaro. And we all know the Camaro turned into Bumblebee. You hear me? So a lot of us is what our spirit, man, is bigger than our body. That's why we age. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's a big old ball of light and this flesh suit is trying to hold it. You understand what I'm saying? And, you know, depending on what you eating, you know what I'm saying, you're going to make the flesh suit more conducive to withstand the light, the electricity. So you're going to eat electrical foods. But that's a whole nother conversation. Oh my gosh, I'm already at a minute. Wow. All right, so look. Oh man, I guess we got to keep going. Who are you? Who are you? If I were to strip you from the environment you grew up in, the environment you're in right now, if I was to strip you away from all the so-called influences that you had growing up, family and friends, if I was to take away the idea of a zone of judgment or people ridiculing you, criticizing you behind what you want to do, what new decision would you make? What changes would you make in your life? What would you stop doing right now? What would be the things that if you were never introduced to them that you would never be interested in? How many teams would you really care to follow or be a fan of? I'm just saying, if you were never influenced or introduced to certain things, do you think over time that you would gradually attract that into your field? I'm just asking. If you never grew up where you grew up at, would you be attracted to that environment? Ooh. If you were never introduced to Jordans and certain clothes, would you naturally gravitate to want to wear that? What do you like for real? Who are you? If you were to strip yourself, see, that's the thing that I had to do. And listen, when they say that when you start walking in that path that God wants you to walk on, it is not for the weak. Because a lot of times, even in your absence from people, sometimes they will assume it one or two ways. Either that you busy, like you really getting it, depending on who is the receiver of your energy or your physical presentation or demonstration in life. They can take it, like I said, like you being productive. You get into that bag or you tighten yourself up, and then the other half gonna think that the other end, the you know what I'm saying, that, oh, he don't care, oh, you know what I'm saying, this and this and that, woo woo woo. 9 times out of 10, these people really haven't made it to that point in their life where they have to ask themselves these questions. Who am I for real? You see what I'm saying? Because when you start to dive into that, when you start to dive into what your purpose is for being on earth, you dig what I'm saying? When you start to dive into that, naturally you start separating from a lot of things. It is not to sit there and say that this was bad or that was evil and these people are bad and these people are evil and you better. No. You have to understand, you were born into a family. You were born into a community or an environment. You were born into that. But that's not where you came from. Each one of us were made as individuals. Individuals with a task. Each one of our spirits have an assignment attached to it. Some assignments require different things. And it takes a person with wisdom to understand this. That's why I'm not so quick to judge people, man, on their walks in life. You understand? Some things I might not understand, right? But I'm not going to judge. Two different things. You know what I'm saying? And if it's not meant for me to understand, I don't even jump in that water. Because honestly, it's not my business, right? I have so much going on within myself And so much things, like when I start asking myself questions like, who am I? You start really figuring out that you need to really spend a lot of time with yourself to figure yourself out. You think you know yourself. You really do. You think you got yourself all down pat. But you'd be quite surprised to know that when you start sitting with yourself, that's what they talk about, meditation and stuff like that. When you start sitting with yourself, you start tapping into different areas of your mind that you didn't even explore. Because the environment, it goes right back to that environment. The environment in which we were brought up in will cause us to limit our thinking, because we only need certain skills or certain tools from the toolbox, so to speak, right, to survive or thrive in whatever environment that you allow yourself to stay stuck in. You see what I'm saying? That's why they say it's good to travel. It's good to move around. You see what I'm saying? Boy, who are you? I ask myself, who am I all the time? Like, this is not a game. You feel what I'm saying? This is not a game. Like, I ask myself this all the time. Who am I? I know I start off with I'm a child of God. You understand what I'm saying? And I go from there. You got to learn how to speak life in the midst of death. It's a lot of people, man, that would probably prefer you to be on the low and low and not on the up and up. You hear me? I've learned over time, when you even have good news, to hold that down and keep it to yourself. Because the right news, you know what I'm saying, you ain't gonna be able to hold it anyway. Not even with your mouth. I'm just saying that people just gonna see it regardless. They gonna just put two and two together eventually. And that boy that used to rub them 2 pennies to make a dime, finally took 2 quarters and made $1. You know what I'm saying? Now that mathematically doesn't make any sense, but that's a country saying. You understand? You got me. All right. All righty then. I already know that 2 quarters may equals 50 cents. But look, that's just like how we show up though too. We will come to a situation knowing what the cost is. Ooh, we know what the cost is. Okay, just like I'm sitting there asking you, who are you? Your new life is going to cost you your old life. Your new walk, when you want to be prosperous, this version that you have, this fantastic imagination that you have, and you've seen yourself through your third eye view within your head, and you see yourself so vividly, and you know you're looking good, you know, smelling good, you're balling out of control. But that's a whole, if you're not realizing, the person that you're looking at, that you walking in, that's seeing the vision, don't match probably the vision that you see in your head. Because you literally have to be born again. That's what Yahshua was talking about, being born again, nigga. Being born again. You see what I'm saying? That's what makes me ask the question once again, who are you? Who are you? Are you what they called you? Are you still going by that first and last name? You see what I'm saying? That's been given to you. Have you asked God who you really are in the spirit? What's your name in the spirit? You understand me? Like I said, once again, the movie Transformers gave you all the game, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, children of all ages. It gave you all the game that you needed. In life, we go about and live life as if we are these vehicles. Hyundai Sonata. Right? Christopher Lane. Right? Nah. Wrong. That is my straw man name. That's a whole nother conversation too. That's why when you go to court or you get them legal documents, it's in all caps, just like a business. Oh boy, what you talking about, Chris? Oh boy, what you talking about, Chris? Another conversation. Another conversation. Whole another conversation. But who are you? It's already bad enough that we paying taxes and answering certain things to this straw man name. You know what I'm talking about? It's fictitious character. Why do you think that you have more tax write-offs as a business owner versus an employee? I think when you signed that birth certificate, it was telling you something. Or it was telling your parents something. They just didn't know. Who did they sign you over to? So who knows your real identity? a whole nother conversation, right? On that way, that side. But who are you? Answer that question within yourself. Who are you? Who are you? You definitely ain't the person that just born to go to work, pay bills, raise them children, make sure they go through school. That's way more to life than that. What type of impact are you leaving here? What footprints in the sand are you leaving? Will the earth know that you existed when you actually passed? What type of impact did you make? Who did you feed? And we're not talking about physically. It's a good thing to feed people physically, especially the hungry or the needy. I'm not against none of that. But a lot of times we get caught up in the physical things, not understanding that the spirit world controls everything. So why are we not taking care of that? Why are we not talking about that more? You understand what I'm saying? You would think we'd be more tapped in. Now, we feed this physical body, which you already know is going to go back into the dirt eventually. Because guess what? I got a secret for y'all that I want to tell you. Come in a little closer. Come in a little closer. Let me tell you something. None of us get out of here alive. All right. Now that I said that, why is it that we feed this flesh suit 3 times a day? I don't feed it 3 times a day. But that's what we've been taught to do, which is really illogical and wrong. Because you don't give your organs, your vital organs, time to properly digest and process the food. But that's a whole nother conversation too. And that's why you have diseases. And that's why we end up being obese. And all this other stuff starts to come in. Plus, what they would say, genetics. But once again, who are you? These are things that you can control. Once you start taking your power back, so to speak, take a responsibility for your life, for yourself. What do you really like? If you separate and strip yourself of everything that you've ever known, I had to do it. That's why a lot of my likes and stuff don't make sense with my environment. I found out what Chris likes. Look, I had to separate myself from everything to find myself. And that's what it's going to take for you too. You're not going to be able to find yourself in the midst of everything. Jesus gave you the game. When he had to tap in and really on a whole nother frequency, wasn't he by himself? Hello. You see what I'm saying? The Most High gave you the game too. Unless you a twin, you came in this world by yourself. You gonna leave by yourself. Now people are like, oh, I know how folks in the comments. Well, what if, you know what I'm saying, you which is weird to even discuss, right? You might go out with other people, but y'all gonna be judged individually though, homie. Ain't nobody gonna sit up there and vouch for you. That cosign and all that there, clout check, it ain't gonna matter. Because when you meet your maker, you're gonna have a ton of excuses about why you didn't do this and why you didn't do that. And he gonna look at you like, okay, I gave you X, Y, and Z. I gave you this talent. I gave you this ability. Whatever it is, right? You either too scared to tap into it to make yourself better, or you got convinced due to the voices in your environment that told you that you were less than. Told you were wasting your time striving for something better. You believed in them when they said nothing good come from where we come from. And so you settled for your life. You're settling right now. But guess what? It's crazy enough. Jesus heard the same thing. They told him nothing good to come out of Nazareth. Y'all understand that literally if you understood where Jesus come from, it is like the hood, bruh. Like, it's you, my nigga. I had to say it like that. That's your story. You know what I'm saying? And he even said there's going to be greater ones coming after him doing greater works. Why? What was he talking about? He's already foreseeing the technology. Y'all shouldn't have had no dang iPhone to sit there and speak and get his game and gift the gab on. He would have been more viral 1,000,000 times over. But he already foreseen a day like this where I'll be able to sit in my car, and by the grace of God, I'm able to reach thousands of people at one time just sitting in my car. I ain't commanding no crowd outside of me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to rent out no building for this. You know what I'm saying? You just have to invest into a phone. And next thing you know, it's on and popping. You dig what I'm saying? So we've had other messiahs, so to speak. I ain't trying to, put them on the same pedestal as Joshua, but you get what I'm saying? We've had other saviors that came throughout time that have tried to give gain to us as a people and us as a culture, right? And a lot of them got slain along the way for tapping in and challenging the social norm. Challenging the belief system or the structure or how we were doing things, or they were doing things